noble consort's cousin, the Right Chancellor, he's trying to get into her head that the case involving her sister, the fake sister, wasn't a real case, that she wasn't actually a Yo, that everything was set up and made to look like that. Even though she herself witnessed everything, he's making it out that what she saw wasn't actually real, that she was made to believe what she saw. He also admits that he's going to do something to the Department of Exorcism, that he plans to get rid of them. He hints to it or outright states it. I was a little confused that part. But yeah, he is really much showing that he should not be trusted, and the noble consort should not trust her cousin and should warn the Emperor. But she doesn't do it. She kind of just does what he wants. He also revealed the main character's identity as a Yo to her, and she goes, "But he is the son of the doctor who saved my life," which kind of reveals that the doctor or his wife was a Yo too. The main character and the deer, they're the only ones at the department when the case comes to their door. This case is one involving a former emperor's temple. They go and inform the Persian prince before they go to the temple, but they don't do any instigating before they enter the temple, and they come across the main bad guy of the series. And it seems like it was a trap set up to get them. The male lead and the wolf comes and rescues them, gets them out of there. They're both getting on to these two for going and instigating the case without them being there, because again, these two haven't been involved in this kind of stuff for very long. So it wasn't very wise for them to go and do this, especially walking around in a former emperor's tomb. Like, it's not very wise. But like, the main character and the deer are not fully listening to them. They're kind of arguing back, and the Melly tells the main character he will get him handled later. And they continue on to meet up with the Persian prince. They went and met up with the Persian prince, and right after meeting up with him, the scholar had returned back. They're having a discussion of why the main villain of the series was at this location, and does he have several different nests throughout the kingdom? How was he able to get in and out of the tombs without being seen or caught? What is his real identity? They have a theory that he is disguised as the Right Chancellor, and they make great points of how he can be the Right Chancellor. Another one of the tombs has been hit, and several bodies have been found, so they have to go and investigate this tomb. And they find on the bodies is the smell of alcohol. So the people who died guarding the tomb had died from alcohol poisoning, while also being physically harmed. But they mostly have been poisoned by alcohol. Melly figures if two of the tombs have been hit, that the other tombs will be hit too, so he tells his men to go and investigate each one of the tombs. Him and the main character goes to one of them. They're basically doing a stakeout at these tombs, and they're waiting for anyone to show up and see if anyone's going to try to do anything. The main character, he was already showing jealousy to the guy they were talking to while investigating the second tomb, and the main character even brings that up. He's like, "Oh, what was your relationship with this dude?" Like, he's showing that he's very much jealous of the relationship the Melid and this guy possibly have. And the Melid does reveal that he had some sort of attentions to this dude and another guy, but he never went far with those attentions because he felt something towards them. Like, he's had certain points of themselves that he liked, but they weren't what he wanted until he met the main character, and he realized everyone he liked in the past all shared small little similarities to the main characters. Only when he met the main character he realized that the main character had everything he desired in a partner, and so he settles the main character's jealousy. So the Melid, he tells the main character his theory about the Right Chancellor's demon hearts. So the Right Chancellor, he had 3 demon hearts. One he still has on himself. The first one he had gifted to the deer, and that's how he did all the things he did to the deer. And then the third belongs to somebody else. And this person is most likely going against the Right Chancellor, that he's competing against him, he's trying to rival against him, he's trying to overrule him, and that the people who are, going inside the tombs, and trying to find something in the tombs are most likely working for the third person, the person who has the third demon heart, and that is his theory. The lead also tells the main character that wine, lust, wrath, and greed, they're the ones working for this third demon heart, and they're looking for something in the tomb. They maybe have already found it with the second tomb, and they're just checking the other ones. Two people had showed up to the tomb that the main character and male lead were instigating, and the male lead and the main character, they just watch and listen to them and they leave. And then they get a report that the tomb that the deer and the wolf were instigating had someone show up and that the wolf was injured. So they meet up with the wolf and the deer, and they're bickering, like they're full on having an argument whose fault the person was able to escape. The wolf had a plan. This plan was to basically go up to the person once the person arrived and then lure the person to the deer. But he didn't inform the deer of this. He just told the deer to stay put. And when the deer saw him get attacked, he tried helping the wolf. It just alerted the dude and the dude escaped. And now they're arguing whose fault it was. Is it the wolf's fault for not informing the deer the entire plan, or was it the deer for moving out of his way? Which they're both at fault over this. I do blame a little more on the wolf than I do the deer, but they're both at fault for not trusting each other and informing each other of stuff. Like the deer not trusting the wolf and the wolf not informing the deer the entire plan. The deer is so upset over this that when the main character goes and gets the medicine and tries getting the deer to be the one to put the medicine on the wolf, he just refuses. So I'm having a really hard time actually shipping these two, to the point I'm like, are they even going to end up together? Is there going to be an actual good arc for them? Because at this point I just think they're better off as friends or just comrades. Maybe I'll be able to ship them more, because I felt more shipping towards them in book 3, but now in this book I just feel like they might be better off as friends. Maybe I will be able to ship them more. The main character and the wolf, they have a conversation about this. Like the wolf reveals that he just cannot get it up for the deer. He can get it up for women, but he can't get it up for the deer. He also doesn't like how the deer treats him. Ever since he found out who the deer was, he hasn't liked the way the deer has been treating him. Like, it just feels like the deer is very haughty towards him, very rude to him. He doesn't care for the deer's personality towards him. And it could come off very tsundere-like. The main character even points it out that he probably does care for the wolf in his own sort of way. But the wolf, he just is done with it. He doesn't want to be treated this way anymore. So the main character is like, why don't you just be friends with him? Why don't you guys just start off as friends at the get-go? Maybe things could possibly change, but the main character is even doubting it himself, since the wolf even admitted that he just can't get it up for the deer. So there are chances that maybe they won't get together in the future, or they will, and it's just going to be very hard for both of them, and not as easy as it was for the main character and the Melly to get to the start of a romantic relationship. It might be more of a hurdle.